Two of the greatest directors in cinema history. One helped define the modern blockbuster. The other rewrote the rules of American filmmaking. But in 2025, have Spielberg and Coppola lost touch with modern cinema? Welcome back to Real Talk, the channel where we break down the best in movies, TV, and everything in between. Today, we're tackling a bold question. Have Steven Spielberg and Francis Ford Coppola lost touch with modern cinema? Or do they still have something to say in a radically changed industry? Do their latest films still resonate with today's fast-paced, franchise-driven, streaming-obsessed audiences? Or are they stuck in the golden age of a world that simply doesn't exist anymore? What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a frame. Let's rewind for a second. Spielberg gave us Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Saving Private Ryan. He built the language of the blockbuster. And Francis Ford Coppola, he gave us The Godfather, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now, cinema that didn't just entertain, it challenged us. Their work inspired generations to come. Christopher Nolan's obsession with time and practical effects, straight out of Spielberg's playbook. Denis Villeneuve's sprawling scale and visual poetry. That's Coppola's influence through and through. Damien Chazelle's emotional storytelling. That's the Spielberg soul. Even Tarantino nods to Coppola's operatic grit. But here's the twist. The students, they've evolved. The masters, not so much. In the last decade, Spielberg's been chasing his heart. The Post, West Side Story, The Fabelmans. Critically praised, but none became cultural touchstones. His last blockbuster moment, Ready Player One. Fun, but it felt like Spielberg doing an impression of Spielberg. Coppola, meanwhile, has taken a more eccentric route, funding his own films, going off the grid, preparing for his magnum opus, Megalopolis. But can that connect with a Gen Z audience raised on TikTok, Marvel, and bingeable content? Compare that to their contemporaries. Martin Scorsese, he's thriving on streaming with The Irishman and Killers of the Flower Moon, epic, relevant, and deeply cinematic. Ridley Scott, still churning out high-concept films at 86. Even David Fincher and Wes Anderson have found homes on Netflix and Prime. But Spielberg, he publicly slammed streaming, only to later team up with Apple TV+. That's not evolution, that's resistance turning into reluctant compromise. Here's the big question, do their movies just feel outdated? Spielberg's sincerity, once his superpower, now competes with an audience raised on cynicism, subversion, and rapid-fire storytelling. Coppola's mythic, opera-like approach. It's visionary, but is it still relatable? Today's hits are genre-bending, fast-paced, emotionally raw. Think Everything Everywhere All at Once. Think The Bear, Barbie, and Dune. Audiences today want experimentation, but also clarity. They crave boldness, but not bloat. And Spielberg and Coppola are caught somewhere in between. And yet, there's hope. Spielberg still knows how to speak to the human condition. He just needs the right story. Something timely, something urgent, not another ode to the past. And Coppola, Megalopolis could be a cinematic resurrection or an epic misfire. Either way, he's swinging for the fences, and that's more than most filmmakers dare to do. Maybe their time as box office titans is over, but their value as artists, as visionaries, that's still very real. So, have Spielberg and Coppola lost touch with modern cinema? Maybe a little. The world changed, the medium evolved, but let's not forget, they built the playground. Without them, there's no Nolan, no Villeneuve, no Chazelle. The question now isn't whether they can beat the new wave, but whether they can ride it on their terms. And honestly, we're rooting for them. What do you think? Will Megalopolis be a game changer or a beautiful mess? Is Spielberg's best behind him or just one great script away? Let us know in the comments. We read them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more bold takes right here on Real Talk, where the past meets the future of film. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.